Stephen adjusted his cap, giving the mop a final swirl in the bucket before wringing it out with a practiced twist. The clock on the wall of the janitor's closet ticked steadily, marking the end of another monotonous day at the downtown office building. Life had always been simple for Stephen, a series of routine tasks and uneventful days blending into one another. Little did he know, his world was about to be turned upside down. As Stephen packed up his cleaning supplies and prepared to head home, a blinding flash of light engulfed the closet. He felt a strange sensation, as if every molecule of his being was being stretched and compressed simultaneously. In the next instant, he found himself lying on the ground, surrounded by an alien landscape. Groaning, Stephen pushed himself up, blinking against the harsh sunlight. The sky above was a vibrant shade of purple, and the air hummed with an unfamiliar energy. Around him stretched an expansive, verdant field dotted with towering, bioluminescent flora. In the distance, he could see a sprawling city, its architecture unlike anything he had ever seen on Earth. "What in the world?" Stephen muttered, rubbing his eyes. He reached for his mop, now just a comforting piece of familiarity in this strange new world. A rustling sound caught his attention, and he turned to see a group of alien beings approaching. They were humanoid in shape, but had striking features: elongated limbs, iridescent skin, and large, expressive eyes. The group halted a few feet away, staring at him with a mixture of curiosity and awe. One of them, a tall figure with flowing silver hair, stepped forward. "Welcome, traveler," she said in a melodic voice. "You have arrived on the planet Arendor." Stephen gaped at her, struggling to process her words. "Arendor? How did I get here?" The alien woman smiled gently. "It seems the fates have brought you to us. Come, our princess will want to meet you." Still dazed, Stephen followed the group towards the distant city. As they walked, the woman introduced herself as Eliana, a member of the royal guard. She explained that Arendor was a planet of great beauty and mystery, ruled by Princess Lila, a wise and beloved leader. As they entered the city, Stephen was struck by its splendor. The buildings were made of shimmering crystals, reflecting the light in a dazzling array of colors. The streets were filled with bustling activity, as Arendorians went about their daily lives. Eliana led Stephen to a grand palace at the center of the city. Inside, the opulence was even more breathtaking. The walls were adorned with intricate murals depicting the history and culture of Arendor, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of exotic flowers. In the throne room, Princess Lila awaited them. She was ethereal, with luminous skin and flowing hair that seemed to change color with the light. Her eyes, deep and enigmatic, locked onto Stephen as he approached. "Welcome, Stephen of Earth," she said, her voice like a soft melody. "I have been expecting you." Stephen's mind raced. Expecting me? But how? I'm just a janitor. Why am I here? Lila smiled, a mysterious glint in her eyes. "You may see yourself as ordinary, but the fates have brought you to Arendor for a reason. Your presence here is no accident." Before Stephen could respond, a low murmur spread through the room. The courtiers and guards were whispering, their eyes fixed on him with a strange intensity. Stephen shifted uncomfortably, feeling the weight of their gazes. Princess Lila stepped closer, her eyes never leaving his. "There is something special about you, Stephen, something that our people can sense. Your exotic appearance and the energy you radiate have captivated us all." Stephen blinked, bewildered. "Energy? I don't understand." Lila reached out, gently touching his arm. A wave of warmth and calm washed over him, easing his confusion. "You will understand in time. For now, rest and recover from your journey. We have much to discuss." As Eliana led him to his quarters, Stephen's mind buzzed with questions. What was this strange energy Lila spoke of? Why had he been brought to Arendor? And what did the fates have in store for him? Little did he know, his arrival was just the beginning of a journey that would change the fate of an entire planet and his own life forever. The following morning, Stephen awoke to the soft chime of bells echoing through the palace. He stretched, feeling more rested than he had in days. The events of the previous day felt like a surreal dream, but the opulent surroundings of his room reminded him that he was, indeed, on an alien planet. Eliana greeted him with a warm smile as she entered the room. "Good morning, Stephen. The princess has arranged for a tour of the city. She believes it will help you understand more about our world." Stephen nodded, curiosity and apprehension mingling in his mind. As they walked through the palace corridors, he couldn't help but notice the reverent looks the Arendorians gave him. It was as if they were in the presence of someone extraordinary. The tour took them through bustling marketplaces, serene gardens, and vibrant neighborhoods. Everywhere they went, the reaction was the same: Arendorians stopping in their tracks, their eyes widening as they caught sight of Stephen. He felt like a celebrity, though he had done nothing to earn such attention. As the day wore on, Stephen began to notice a strange phenomenon. The people around him seemed increasingly drawn to him, their gazes lingering with a mixture of fascination and desire. It was as if an invisible force was pulling them towards him. Back at the palace, Stephen shared his observations with Princess Lila. She listened intently, her expression thoughtful. "It is as I suspected," she said softly. "Your presence here has awakened something within our people. Your pheromones, your energy, they have a powerful effect on us." Stephen stared at her, incredulous. "Pheromones? You mean people are reacting to my scent?" Lila nodded. "It is more than just scent. It is an aura, a magnetic pull that we cannot resist. It is why the fates brought you here, Stephen. You are meant to play a significant role in our world." As the days passed, the situation escalated. Arendor's population became increasingly obsessed with Stephen. Crowds gathered outside the palace, chanting his name and demanding to see him. The frenzy reached a fever pitch, causing widespread chaos. Princess Lila and her advisors convened an emergency meeting to address the crisis. "We must find a way to manage this situation," Lila said, her voice filled with urgency. "Stephen's presence is causing a disruption we cannot control." One of the advisors, a wise elder named Thaler, suggested seeking the help of Zima, a powerful witch known for her knowledge of potions and spells. Perhaps she can create something to mitigate the effects of Stephen's pheromones, he proposed. Reluctantly, Stephen agreed to meet Zima. She was an enigmatic figure, with piercing eyes and an air of mystery. In her secluded laboratory, she examined Stephen, her expression unreadable. "I can create a potion that might help," Zima said finally, "but it will be risky. There are no guarantees." Desperate for a solution, Stephen agreed to take the risk. Zima set to work, combining rare ingredients and ancient incantations to brew the potion. However, an unexpected accident caused the potion to spill, scattering its contents throughout the city. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. Instead of mitigating the chaos, the potion amplified it. The entire population of Arendor was thrown into a frenzy, their desire for Stephen intensified to an uncontrollable level. Stephen found himself at the center of a storm, pursued by crazed women, political factions, and religious fanatics. His attempts to escape led him through a series of perilous adventures, from run-down alien bars to dangerous neighborhoods where he had to rely on his wits to survive. Through it all, Princess Lila remained his ally, helping him navigate the chaos and offering support. But as the situation grew increasingly dire, Stephen realized that they needed to find a more permanent solution to end the madness. The answer, he believed, lay in understanding the true nature of the energy he possessed and discovering how to harness it for the greater good of Arendor. With the potion disaster escalating the chaos, Stephen and Lila devised a plan to find a safe haven where they could regroup and strategize. They decided to seek refuge in the underground tunnels beneath the city, a network of forgotten passages known only to a few. As they navigated the labyrinthine tunnels, Stephen couldn't shake the feeling of being hunted. The sounds of frenzied footsteps and desperate voices echoed through the corridors, making it clear that their pursuers were not far behind. Lila led the way, her knowledge of the tunnels proving invaluable. "These passages were built centuries ago," she explained. "Few remember their existence. We should be safe here for now." Despite her reassurance, Stephen's anxiety grew with each passing moment. The enchantment that had gripped the planet was unlike anything he had ever encountered. He felt a deep sense of responsibility to find a solution, but the path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty. Their journey through the tunnels brought them to an unexpected destination, a rundown alien bar hidden beneath the city. The bar, known as the Star's End, was a gathering place for outcasts and those seeking refuge from the chaos above. The owner, a grizzled alien named Gorthak, greeted them with wary eyes. "What brings you to my establishment?" he asked, his voice a low growl. Lila stepped forward, her tone diplomatic. "We seek shelter and information. The situation above has grown dire, and we need your help." Gorthak eyed Stephen, recognition dawning in his eyes. "So you're the one causing all this madness," he muttered. "I should throw you out right now." Stephen raised his hands in a gesture of peace. "I never wanted any of this. I just want to find a way to stop it." Gorthak studied him for a moment before nodding. "All right, you can stay, but you'll have to pull your weight. This place is a sanctuary, but it's not free." Over the next few days, Stephen and Lila worked alongside Gorthak and the other bar inhabitants, earning their keep and gathering information. The Star's End was a melting pot of stories and knowledge, offering insights into the deeper mysteries of Arendor. One night, as Stephen cleaned tables, he overheard a conversation between two patrons about an ancient artifact rumored to possess immense power. The artifact, known as the Heart of Arendor, was said to have the ability to control and harmonize the energies of the planet. Intrigued, Stephen approached the patrons, seeking more information. "Tell me more about this artifact," he said, trying to hide his eagerness. The patrons, a pair of roguish traders, exchanged glances before speaking. "The Heart of Arendor is a myth to most, but we believe it exists," one of them said. "It's hidden in the Temple of the Forgotten, deep in the mountains." Lila, who had joined the conversation, looked thoughtful. If the artifact is real, it could be the key to ending the chaos. Determined to find the Heart of Arendor, Stephen and Lila set out on a perilous journey to the mountains. The path was fraught with dangers, from treacherous terrain to hostile creatures. Along the way, they encountered allies and enemies, each encounter testing their resolve. As they neared the Temple of the Forgotten, they found themselves pursued by a faction of religious fanatics who believed Stephen was a divine figure destined to lead them. The fanatics, known as the Order of the Sacred Flame, sought to capture Stephen and use his power for their own ends. In a tense standoff, Stephen and Lila managed to outwit the fanatics, narrowly escaping their clutches. The experience left Stephen shaken, but more determined than ever to find the artifact and end the madness. Finally, they reached the temple, an ancient structure carved into the mountainside. Inside, they discovered a series of trials designed to test their courage, wisdom, and strength. With each trial, Stephen felt a deeper connection to the energies of Arendor, his understanding growing. At the heart of the temple, they found the artifact, a radiant crystal pulsating with energy. As Stephen approached, the crystal resonated with his presence, filling the chamber with a brilliant light. Stephen reached out, touching the Heart of Arendor. In that moment, he felt a surge of power and clarity. He understood the true nature of his energy and how to harness it to bring harmony to the planet. With the artifact in hand, Stephen and Lila made their way back to the city, ready to face the chaos and restore balance to Arendor. But they knew their journey was far from over. New challenges and dangers awaited them as they sought to unite the planet and bring an end to the madness. Returning to the city, Stephen and Lila found the situation had deteriorated further. The potion mishap had intensified the frenzy, and the city was teetering on the brink of collapse. Determined to use the Heart of Arendor to restore balance, they sought out Zima for guidance. Zima, now aware of the chaos her potion had caused, was racked with guilt. "I never meant for this to happen," she said, her voice trembling. "I will do everything in my power to help you." Together, they devised a plan to use the Heart of Arendor to counteract the potion's effects. The process would require a precise ritual, combining the energies of the artifact with Stephen's unique aura. As they prepared for the ritual, Stephen couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. The chaos outside had reached unprecedented levels, with factions warring in the streets and frenzied crowds clamoring for him. The city was a powder keg, and time was running out. The ritual began at the palace, with Zima and Lila guiding Stephen through the complex incantations and energy manipulations. As the Heart of Arendor glowed brighter, Stephen felt a deep connection to the planet and its people, a bond that transcended time and space. Just as they were nearing the climax of the ritual, disaster struck. The Order of the Sacred Flame, having tracked Stephen and Lila, launched a surprise attack on the palace. Their leader, a fanatic named Eric, stormed into the chamber, determined to seize the artifact. A fierce battle ensued, with Stephen and his allies fighting to protect the Heart of Arendor. In the chaos, the artifact was knocked from its pedestal, its energy scattering in a blinding explosion. The fallout from the explosion sent shockwaves through the city, intensifying the chaos. Stephen found himself separated from Lila and Zima, thrown into a dark, unfamiliar part of the city. Disoriented and injured, he struggled to regain his bearings. As he wandered through the desolate streets, Stephen encountered a group of rebels fighting against the fanatics and other factions. The rebels, led by a charismatic leader named Kale, recognized Stephen and offered their help. With Kale's guidance, Stephen began to understand the deeper dynamics at play. The chaos was not just about his presence, it was a manifestation of underlying tensions and power struggles within Arendor's society. The potion had merely amplified these issues, bringing them to the surface. Determined to restore order, Stephen rallied the rebels and other like-minded individuals, forming a coalition to oppose the fanatics and bring peace to the city. They devised a plan to retrieve the heart of Arendor and complete the ritual, but the path ahead was fraught with peril. In a daring raid on the fanatic stronghold, Stephen and his allies managed to reclaim the artifact. With the heart of Arendor back in their possession, they returned to the palace, ready to complete the ritual and end the madness. As the ritual resumed, Stephen felt a profound sense of purpose. He understood that his journey had led him to this moment to unite the planet and heal the divisions, tearing it apart. With Zima and Lila by his side, he channeled the energy of the heart of Arendor, releasing a wave of harmony that swept through the city. The frenzy gradually subsided, the chaotic energy dissipating as peace and balance were restored. The factions laid down their arms, the crowds calmed, and a sense of unity began to take hold. Exhausted but triumphant, Stephen looked at Lila and Zima, a sense of gratitude and hope filling his heart. The journey had been long and arduous, but they had succeeded in bringing order to Arendor. But Stephen knew that the journey was far from over. The events had revealed deep-seated issues within Arendor's society that needed to be addressed. With the heart of Arendor and his newfound understanding of his energy, he was determined to lead the planet towards a brighter, more harmonious future. In the wake of the successful ritual, Stephen's newfound fame and influence catapulted him into a position of leadership. Despite his initial reluctance, he was thrust into the role of guiding Arendor through its recovery and transformation. Princess Lila and Zima stood by his side, offering their support and counsel. Together they worked to dismantle the old power structures and foster a new era of equality and cooperation. Stephen's unique perspective as an outsider gave him a fresh approach to the challenges facing Arendor. One of the first tasks was to address the factions that had sprung up during the chaos. Stephen met with leaders from each group, listening to their grievances and concerns. Through dialogue and compromise, he began to build bridges, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose. As word of Stephen's efforts spread, more and more Arendorians rallied to his cause. The new movement, known as the Harmony Coalition, gained momentum, advocating for peaceful coexistence and mutual respect among all species. However, not everyone was pleased with the changes. The remnants of the Order of the Sacred Flame and other extremist groups saw Stephen's rise as a threat to their power. They plotted in the shadows, seeking ways to undermine his leadership and restore their influence. Amid these challenges, an experimental procedure was proposed to integrate Stephen's consciousness with the energies of Arendor more deeply. The goal was to enhance his ability to connect with and understand the planet's diverse inhabitants. Despite the risks, Stephen agreed, believing it could further his mission of unity. The procedure, conducted by a team of scientists and mystics, involved intricate rituals and advanced technology. As the process began, Stephen felt an overwhelming surge of energy coursing through him, a profound connection to the planet and its people. But something went wrong. The integration did not proceed as planned, and instead of enhancing his abilities, it made him irresistibly attractive to everyone. The chaotic energy returned, threatening to undo all the progress they had made. Once again, Stephen found himself pursued by crazed admirers and factions vying for his favor. The situation spiraled out of control, with rebellions breaking out and the Harmony Coalition struggling to maintain order. Desperate for a solution, Stephen and his allies worked tirelessly to find a way to reverse the effects of the procedure. They consulted ancient texts, sought the wisdom of mystics, and explored every avenue of research. During this tumultuous time, Stephen began to question his role and the toll it was taking on his life. He yearned for the simplicity of his previous existence, free from the burdens of leadership and the constant chaos. In a moment of introspection, Stephen made a difficult decision. He would resign from his position and undergo a mind-wiping procedure to remove the effects of the integration. It was a drastic step, but he believed it was necessary to restore peace to Arindor. Princess Lila, deeply affected by Stephen's decision, took it upon herself to ensure his transition was as smooth as possible. She manipulated his memories, creating a fabricated love story to give him a sense of closure and contentment. As Stephen prepared for the procedure, a new extremist group launched a sudden attack. The group, known as the Purifiers, sought to eliminate all traces of Stephen's influence and restore the old order. They revealed the truth to Stephen, shattering his manipulated memories and thrusting him back into the chaos. In the ensuing battle, Stephen and Lila managed to escape, seeking refuge in a remote part of the planet. With their enemies closing in, they devised a plan to broadcast a message to the galaxy, calling for an end to extremism and the embrace of individual freedom. The broadcast, delivered with passion and sincerity, resonated with people across Arindor and beyond. It sparked a movement, inspiring others to rise against oppression and work towards a more inclusive and harmonious future. With the tide turning in their favor, Stephen and Lila returned to the city, ready to face the challenges ahead. Stephen's journey had been fraught with trials and tribulations, but he had emerged stronger and more determined than ever. As Arindor began to heal and rebuild, Stephen found a renewed sense of purpose. He had learned the true power of unity and cooperation, and he was committed to leading by example. The path to lasting peace and harmony was long, but with the support of Lila, Zima, and the Harmony Coalition, he believed they could achieve it. And so, the ordinary janitor from Earth became a beacon of hope and change for an entire planet, proving that even the most unexpected individuals can shape the destiny of a world. Stephen's decision to resign and undergo the mind-wiping procedure marked a turning point in his journey. Despite the challenges and chaos that had defined his time on Arindor, he was determined to find a solution that would bring lasting peace and harmony to the planet. The procedure was to be conducted in a state-of-the-art facility deep within the palace, overseen by a team of scientists and mystics. As Stephen lay on the operating table, he felt a mixture of apprehension and hope. He trusted Princess Lila and his allies, but the uncertainty of what lay ahead weighed heavily on his mind. The process began with a series of intricate rituals and advanced technological procedures. Stephen felt a surge of energy coursing through his body, a sensation that was both exhilarating and terrifying. As the integration reached its climax, a sudden malfunction sent shockwaves through the facility. The procedure went awry, and instead of neutralizing the chaotic energy, it intensified it. Stephen's presence became even more magnetic, drawing people to him with an irresistible force. The chaos that had subsided began to surge once more, threatening to unravel all the progress they had made. Desperate to find a solution, Stephen and his allies convened an emergency meeting. The Harmony Coalition, which had grown in strength and influence, was on the verge of collapse. Factions within the coalition began to splinter, each vying for control and seeking to exploit Stephen's newfound power. Stephen felt overwhelmed by the burden of responsibility. The very energy that had once captivated Arindor's population now threatened to tear it apart. As he grappled with the consequences of the failed procedure, he realized that his journey was far from over. With the support of Princess Lila, Zima, and Kael, Stephen devised a plan to restore order and bring an end to the chaos. They would need to harness the full power of the heart of Arindor, combining its energy with Stephen's unique aura to create a harmonious resonance that would stabilize the planet. The path to achieving this goal was fraught with danger. Extremist groups, including the Purifiers and remnants of the Order of the Sacred Flame, sought to sabotage their efforts. The city was a battleground, with clashes erupting between rival factions and the Harmony Coalition struggling to maintain control. In the midst of this turmoil, Stephen and his allies embarked on a perilous journey to the Temple of the Forgotten, where they hoped to unlock the true potential of the heart of Arindor. The temple, shrouded in mystery and guarded by ancient traps, held the key to their salvation. As they navigated the treacherous terrain and overcame numerous trials, Stephen felt a deepening connection to the energies of Arindor. He began to understand that his journey was not just about finding a solution to the chaos, but about embracing his role as a bridge between different worlds and species. At the heart of the temple, they discovered a hidden chamber containing a powerful relic, the Crystal of Unity. The crystal, said to be the source of Arindor's harmonious energies, resonated with the heart of Arindor, creating a powerful synergy that amplified its effects. With the crystal in their possession, Stephen and his allies returned to the city, ready to confront the forces of chaos and restore balance. The final battle was intense and grueling, with both sides suffering heavy losses. But Stephen's determination and the unwavering support of his friends fueled their resolve. In a climactic showdown, Stephen harnessed the combined energies of the heart of Arendor and the crystal of unity, channeling them through his aura to create a wave of harmony that swept through the city. The chaotic energy dissipated, and the factions laid down their arms, recognizing the futility of their conflict. With peace restored, Stephen addressed the people of Arendor, calling for unity and cooperation. His message resonated deeply, inspiring a renewed sense of hope and purpose. The Harmony Coalition emerged stronger than ever, committed to building a future where all species could coexist in harmony. As the dust settled, Stephen reflected on his journey. He had come a long way from being an ordinary janitor on Earth, but his experiences had taught him the true meaning of leadership and the power of unity. With Lila, Zima, and Kael by his side, he looked forward to the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. Arendor's future was bright, and Stephen knew that together, they could achieve greatness. The journey had been arduous, but it had also been transformative, forging a bond between Stephen and the people of Arendor that would endure for generations to come. With the immediate crisis averted, Stephen found himself at a crossroads. Despite the successful resolution of the chaos, the burden of leadership weighed heavily on him. The responsibility of guiding an entire planet was overwhelming, and he longed for a sense of normalcy and peace. In a heartfelt conversation with Princess Lila, Stephen expressed his desire to step down from his position as leader. "I never sought power or influence," he said quietly. "I only wanted to help. But now I feel like I've lost myself in the process." Lila listened with understanding and compassion. "Your journey has been extraordinary, Stephen. You've brought hope and change to Arendor, but it's important to honor your own needs and desires as well." After much contemplation, Stephen made the difficult decision to resign and undergo the mind-wiping procedure. He believed it was the only way to truly free himself from the chaos that had defined his life on Arendor. With Lila's support, he prepared for the procedure, hoping to find peace and closure. As the day of the procedure approached, Stephen felt a mixture of sadness and relief. He cherished the friendships and bonds he had formed on Arendor, but he also yearned for a simpler life. The palace was abuzz with activity as preparations were made for the procedure, and Stephen took a moment to reflect on his journey. Princess Lila, deeply affected by Stephen's decision, took it upon herself to ensure his memories were manipulated in a way that would bring him contentment. She crafted a fabricated love story, weaving memories of a deep and fulfilling relationship that would give Stephen a sense of closure and happiness. The procedure began with a series of complex rituals and technological processes. Stephen felt a sense of calm wash over him as his memories were altered, the chaotic energy that had once defined him gradually fading away. As the process neared completion, he felt a sense of peace, a quiet contentment that he had longed for. However, just as the procedure was about to conclude, a new extremist group launched a sudden and violent attack on the palace. The Purifiers, determined to eliminate all traces of Stephen's influence, stormed the facility, their leader revealing the truth about the fabricated memories. In the ensuing chaos, Stephen's altered memories began to unravel. He was thrust back into the reality of his situation, the calm and contentment replaced by a sense of betrayal and anger. The Purifiers sought to capture Stephen and use his power for their own ends, but he managed to escape with Lila's help. Fleeing the palace, Stephen and Lila sought refuge in a remote part of Arendor. As they regrouped, they devised a plan to counter the extremist group and restore order to the planet. Stephen, now fully aware of the manipulation and deception, was determined to reclaim his agency and chart a new path forward. With Lila's support, Stephen broadcast a message to the galaxy, calling for an end to extremism and the embrace of individual freedom. His passionate plea resonated deeply with people across Arendor and beyond, sparking a movement that challenged oppressive regimes and advocated for equality and cooperation. The broadcast marked the beginning of a new era for Arendor. The Harmony Coalition, reinvigorated by Stephen's message, redoubled their efforts to build a society based on mutual respect and understanding. Stephen, though no longer the formal leader, continued to play a vital role in guiding the planet towards a brighter future. In the aftermath of the attack, Stephen found a renewed sense of purpose. He had learned the importance of authenticity and the power of individual agency. With Lila, Zima, and Kael by his side, he faced the challenges ahead with determination and hope. Erendor's journey towards unity and harmony was far from over, but Stephen's experiences had laid a strong foundation. Together they would build a future where all species could coexist in peace, and where the lessons of the past would guide them towards a better tomorrow. The revelation of the Purifier's attack and the unraveling of Stephen's manipulated memories marked a turning point in Erendor's history. The extremist group, driven by a fervent belief in their own vision of order, posed a significant threat to the fragile peace Stephen and his allies had worked so hard to achieve. Determined to confront this new challenge head-on, Stephen and Lila rallied their allies, forming a coalition of resistance to oppose the Purifiers. The Harmony Coalition, though shaken by recent events, remained committed to their vision of a united and harmonious Erendor. The Purifiers, led by a charismatic and ruthless leader named Jarek, had amassed a formidable following. They preached a doctrine of purity and control, seeking to impose their rigid ideology on the planet. Their propaganda fueled fear and division, and their violent tactics threatened to plunge Erendor into a new era of conflict. Stephen, Lila, and their allies devised a multi-pronged strategy to counter the Purifiers' influence. They launched a series of coordinated efforts to undermine the extremist group's support base, expose their lies, and rally the people of Erendor to the cause of freedom and cooperation. One of their key initiatives was to establish communication networks that could reach the farthest corners of the planet. Through these networks, they disseminated messages of unity and hope, countering the Purifiers' propaganda with truth and compassion. Stephen, leveraging his unique energy and connection to the planet, played a central role in these efforts. He traveled to various regions, speaking directly to the people and sharing his vision for a better future. His presence, once a source of chaos, now became a beacon of hope and inspiration. As the resistance gained momentum, they launched targeted operations to disrupt the Purifiers' activities. These included sabotage missions to dismantle their supply chains, intelligence-gathering efforts to expose their plans, and direct confrontations to weaken their forces. In one daring operation, Stephen and a team of rebels infiltrated a Purifier stronghold, seeking to retrieve vital information about Jarek's plans. The mission was fraught with danger, but their determination and teamwork led to a successful outcome. The intelligence they gathered provided crucial insights into the extremist group's strategy and vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, Lila focused on diplomatic efforts to garner support from other planets and species in the galaxy. She forged alliances and built coalitions, emphasizing the importance of collective action to combat extremism and promote peace. As the conflict intensified, the stakes grew higher. The Purifiers, recognizing the threat posed by Stephen and his allies, launched a series of ruthless attacks aimed at crippling the resistance. The battles were fierce and costly, with both sides suffering significant losses. In a climactic showdown, the resistance launched a final assault on the Purifiers' main stronghold. The battle was a test of wills, with Stephen and Jarek facing off in a dramatic confrontation. The clash of ideologies and the intensity of their struggle encapsulated the broader conflict engulfing Erendor. Despite the odds, Stephen's unwavering resolve and the unity of his allies proved decisive. They managed to breach the stronghold's defenses, dismantling the Purifiers' operations and capturing Jarek. The defeat of the extremist group marked a turning point, signaling the beginning of the end for their reign of terror. With the Purifiers disbanded and their leadership neutralized, Stephen and his allies turned their attention to rebuilding and healing. They worked tirelessly to address the underlying issues that had fueled the conflict, fostering dialogue and reconciliation among Erendor's diverse population. The victory was hard-earned, but it came with a profound sense of accomplishment. Stephen, Lila, Zima, and Kael had not only defeated an extremist threat, but had also laid the groundwork for a more inclusive and harmonious society. As Erendor began to heal, Stephen reflected on the lessons of his journey. He had learned the importance of resilience, the power of unity, and the enduring strength of hope. Though the path to lasting peace was still long, he believed that with determination and cooperation, they could build a future where all beings could thrive. With the defeat of the Purifiers, Erendor entered a period of relative calm. However, Stephen knew that the journey towards lasting peace and unity was far from over. The challenges they had faced had revealed deep-seated issues within the planet's society that required careful attention and long-term solutions. As Arendor began to rebuild, Stephen and his allies focused on fostering a culture of inclusivity and mutual respect. They launched initiatives to promote dialogue and understanding among different species, emphasizing the importance of cooperation and shared values. Princess Lila, now recognized as a leader in her own right, played a crucial role in these efforts. Her diplomatic skills and compassionate approach helped bridge divides and build trust among Arendor's diverse communities. Together with Stephen, she spearheaded a series of programs aimed at addressing the root causes of conflict and fostering a sense of collective identity. One of their key initiatives was the establishment of the Harmony Council, a representative body composed of leaders from various species and factions. The council served as a platform for open dialogue and decision-making, ensuring that all voices were heard and considered in the governance of Arendor. As the Harmony Council began its work, Stephen and Lila continued their efforts to strengthen alliances with other planets and species in the galaxy. They recognized that the challenges facing Arendor were part of a broader struggle for peace and cooperation, and they sought to build a network of support and solidarity. During this time, Stephen also took the opportunity to reflect on his personal journey. The experiences he had undergone had transformed him in profound ways, and he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the support and friendship of his allies. He had grown from an ordinary janitor into a symbol of hope and change, and he was determined to use his newfound influence for the greater good. However, just as Arendor seemed to be finding its footing, a new threat emerged. A radical extremist group, known as the New Dawn, rose to prominence, seeking to exploit the lingering divisions and uncertainties within Arendor's society. Led by a charismatic and ruthless figure named Seraphine, the New Dawn aimed to overthrow the Harmony Council and impose their own vision of order. The New Dawn's tactics were insidious, using propaganda, fear, and violence to undermine the Council's efforts. They targeted key infrastructure, incited unrest, and sought to discredit Stephen and his allies. The situation quickly escalated, and Arendor found itself once again on the brink of chaos. Determined to confront this new threat, Stephen and his allies devised a plan to expose the New Dawn's true nature and rally the people of Arendor to their cause. They launched a series of covert operations to gather intelligence, disrupt the extremist group's activities, and counter their propaganda with messages of hope and unity. In a dramatic confrontation, Stephen and his allies managed to infiltrate the New Dawn's headquarters, uncovering evidence of their plans and exposing their deceit. The revelation sparked outrage and condemnation from the people of Arendor, who rallied behind the Harmony Council and rejected the extremist group's vision. The final showdown with Seraphine and the New Dawn was intense and grueling. Stephen, drawing on his experiences and the strength of his allies, led the charge to dismantle the extremist group's operations and bring their leaders to justice. The battle was a test of courage and resilience, but ultimately the forces of unity and cooperation prevailed. With the New Dawn defeated, Stephen and his allies turned their attention to healing the wounds and rebuilding once again. They worked tirelessly to address the underlying issues that had allowed the extremist group to gain a foothold, fostering a culture of inclusivity and resilience. As Arendor began to heal, Stephen delivered a powerful message to the galaxy, calling for an end to extremism and the embrace of individual freedom. His words resonated deeply, inspiring a renewed commitment to peace and cooperation across the stars. In the aftermath of the conflict, Stephen found a renewed sense of purpose and hope. He had learned that the journey towards peace and unity was ongoing, requiring constant effort and vigilance. With the support of his friends and allies, he was determined to continue working towards a brighter future for Arendor and beyond. The experiences had shaped him in profound ways, and he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the support and friendship of those who had stood by him. Together they had faced immense challenges and emerged stronger, united by a shared vision of a better world. As Stephen looked towards the future, he knew that the path ahead would not be easy. But with determination, resilience, and the power of unity, he believed that they could build a future where all beings could thrive, free from the shadows of extremism and division. The defeat of the New Dawn marked a pivotal moment in Arendor's history. The planet, scarred by conflict but resilient in its pursuit of unity, stood at the threshold of a new era. Stephen, now a symbol of hope and transformation, felt the weight of responsibility as he prepared to address the galaxy. In the days following the victory, Stephen and his allies worked tirelessly to consolidate their gains and ensure the stability of the Harmony Council. They focused on rebuilding infrastructure, fostering economic recovery, and promoting social cohesion. The lessons learned from the recent conflicts guided their efforts, emphasizing the importance of inclusivity and resilience. Princess Lila, recognized for her leadership and diplomatic skills, played a crucial role in these efforts. She worked closely with representatives from various species and factions, fostering dialogue and cooperation. Together with Stephen, she spearheaded initiatives aimed at addressing the root causes of division and promoting a culture of mutual respect. Zima, the witch whose potion had inadvertently sparked the chaos, also played a key role in the healing process. She used her knowledge of potions and spells to develop remedies that alleviated the lingering effects of the chaos, helping the people of Arendor recover and rebuild their lives. Kael, the rebel leader who had become a trusted ally, continued to provide strategic guidance and support. His experience in navigating the complexities of conflict proved invaluable in the efforts to maintain peace and stability. As Arendor began to heal, Stephen knew that their journey was far from over. The challenges they had faced were a reminder of the fragility of peace and the need for constant vigilance. With this in mind, he prepared to deliver a message to the galaxy, calling for unity and cooperation in the face of extremism and division. The broadcast was a momentous occasion, with representatives from various planets and species tuning in to hear Stephen's words. Standing before the camera, Stephen took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his journey and the hopes of countless beings resting on his shoulders. "My friends, my allies, and the people of the galaxy," Stephen began, his voice steady and resolute. "We have faced immense challenges and witnessed the destructive power of division and extremism. But through our struggles, we have also discovered the strength that lies in unity and cooperation." He spoke of his journey, from an ordinary janitor on Earth to a reluctant leader on Arendor. He recounted the trials and tribulations they had faced, the sacrifices made, and the lessons learned. His words were a testament to the resilience and courage of the people of Arendor, and a call to action for all who heard them. "We stand at a crossroads," Stephen continued. "The path we choose will determine the future of our galaxy. We can allow fear and hatred to divide us, or we can embrace the values of inclusivity, mutual respect, and cooperation. The choice is ours, and the responsibility rests with each of us." He called for an end to extremism and the embrace of individual freedom, urging the people of the galaxy to work together towards a brighter future. His message was one of hope and determination, a rallying cry for unity and peace. As Stephen concluded his speech, he felt a sense of profound connection with the people who had stood by him. Lila, Zima, Kael, and the countless others who had fought for a better future were a testament to the power of collective action and the enduring strength of hope. The broadcast resonated deeply, inspiring a renewed commitment to peace and cooperation across the galaxy. The Harmony Coalition, strengthened by the support of their allies, continued their efforts to build a society where all beings could thrive. In the aftermath of the broadcast, Stephen felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had come a long way from his humble beginnings, but his journey was far from over. With the support of his friends and allies, he was determined to continue working towards a future where all beings could live in harmony. Arendor's future was bright, and Stephen knew that with determination, resilience, and the power of unity, they could build a world where peace and cooperation prevailed. The challenges they had faced had shaped them in profound ways, and together they were ready to embrace the future with hope and optimism. The sun rose over Arendor, casting a warm golden light across the planet. The once chaotic streets were now filled with the sounds of laughter and the bustle of daily life. The people of Arendor, united by their shared experiences and the vision of a brighter future, worked together to build a society based on the principles of inclusivity and mutual respect. Stephen, standing on a balcony overlooking the city, felt a deep sense of contentment. The journey had been long and arduous, but the transformation he had witnessed filled him with hope. Arendor was no longer a planet torn apart by division and conflict. It was a beacon of unity and cooperation in the galaxy. Princess Lila joined him on the balcony, her presence a comforting reminder of the bond they had forged. "We've come a long way," she said softly, her eyes reflecting the morning light. Stephen nodded, a smile tugging at his lips. "We have, and there's still so much more to do, but I believe we're on the right path." Zima and Kael soon joined them, the four friends standing together as they looked out over the city. Each of them had played a crucial role in the journey, their unique strengths and perspectives contributing to the success of their efforts. As they stood there, Stephen felt a sense of profound gratitude. The experiences they had shared had not only shaped Arindor's future, but had also forged unbreakable bonds of friendship and trust. Together, they had faced immense challenges and emerged stronger, united by a common purpose. The Harmony Council, now a well-established and respected institution, continued its work, ensuring that all voices were heard and all perspectives considered. The Council's efforts were a testament to the power of collaboration and the importance of inclusivity. Stephen's message to the galaxy had sparked a movement, inspiring planets and species across the stars to embrace the values of unity and cooperation. The ripple effects of their efforts were felt far and wide, as more and more beings joined the cause of peace and harmony. As the day progressed, Stephen and his friends descended to the city, joining the people of Arindor in their daily activities. They visited markets, attended community meetings, and shared in the joys and challenges of everyday life. The connections they formed and the stories they heard reaffirmed their commitment to the path they had chosen. In the evening, as the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Stephen gathered with Lila, Zima, Kale, and other allies in a celebration of their journey and the progress they had made. It was a time of reflection and gratitude, a moment to honor the past and look forward to the future. As the celebration continued, Stephen found himself gazing at the stars, thinking about the vastness of the galaxy and the countless beings who shared in their journey. He felt a deep sense of purpose and determination, knowing that their work was far from over but confident in their ability to create a better world. Arindor's journey towards unity and harmony was ongoing, but with the strength of their bonds and the power of their vision, Stephen and his allies were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together they would build a future where all beings could thrive, free from the shadows of division and conflict. The journey had been long and filled with trials, but it had also been a testament to the resilience and strength of the human spirit. Stephen's transformation from an ordinary janitor to a symbol of hope and change was a reminder that even the most unexpected individuals could shape the destiny of a world. And so as the stars shone brightly above, Stephen and his friends looked to the future with hope and optimism, ready to embrace the new beginning that lay ahead. The journey was far from over, but with unity, resilience, and the power of friendship, they knew that anything was possible.